Good evening, everyone. This is Melinda Russell with Racing Girls Rock Podcast. Tonight, my honor is to have Michelle Graves with us. Michelle lives in Ontario, Canada, and she's going to tell us about her race story, how she got interested in racing, and why she's so passionate about it. So welcome to the podcast, Michelle.
How are you, Melinda?
I'm doing really good. As we talked a little bit ahead of time, I'm in the middle of checking into my flight and packing my bag because I'm going to Daytona for 10 days.
Nice.
And I'm really excited about it. One, because at least the sun will be shining most of the time. And in Michigan, it's been gray and cold and yucky for the whole winter, it feels like. So I'm excited to take that trip, but we're going to hear your race story first for our podcast. And so we're going to start with just a little bit about yourself. Tell us like where you live, what you do, do you have a family? Do you have pets? Tell us about Michelle.
Sounds good. Michelle, I have 3 children I raise on my own, 3 boys. I've actually did at Loyalist College here in Belleville, which is where I live. I did the automotive tech program. I have a couple different diplomas. I've always been super smart, have a little bit of ADHD, kind of always all over the map, never really knew what I wanted to do. And I've always had a passion for clothing. I'm very patriotic. I love Canada. We are born in the absolutely most beautiful place in the world. So I have a passion for clothing, passion for racing, and a passion for my country. So when I finished my program at Loyalist College, I actually again was like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And at my age with 3 children, I really had to sit down and take a look at what my passions were so that I could make a career out of something. And I took those 3 passions and I made a Canadian clothing company that's actually targeted towards the motorsports industry. So I jumped right into it, both feet, and every door that's closed, I found another door and ran right through it. And a year and a half later, I'm here. It's called Air Sports Incorporated. It's spelled EHR, so the A, the Canadian. So everyone gets a little laugh out of that. But yeah, like the people are amazing. I'm involved with snowcross. I'm involved with the super bikes. I have 4 Canadian motorsports athletes now. So 2 of which are in the super bikes and CSBK, Canadian Superbike. And I have a little 6-year-old snowcross racer. He's part of the Canadian Snowcross Race Association. And I have my cousin Mick, actually, Kavanagh. He is motocross. And then I have, it originally started as Air Water Sports and until I incorporated. And Jamie Calhoun is a water ski slalom racer. And he's sitting number 1 in Canada and all across the world for under 17.
Wow.
So, I mean, a year and a half and I'm doing it all on my own. My 12-year-old son does a lot of my photography with me. So it's just like a family thing. And I just keep busy. And the people, like I said, are amazing.
That's very, very cool. So when we're done, you're going to have to give us all the...
For sure. Yeah.
How to find it and get on with it.
For sure.
So how did you get interested in motorsports?
Well, it started actually when I was young. My mom would take me to the Snap-on races, the Indy races in Toronto. So from there, I went to the Formula F1 races in Montreal. I've always enjoyed going. I actually had an Acura RSX, a little 5-speed that I used to take up to now is Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Mm-hmm. Used to be Mossport. And I used to take it there and they had this little race. You could throw in your own personal vehicle for $20 until I realized that your insurance company doesn't cover damages. And I was like, my car was kind of pretty. But like I've just always been into racing, doing stuff like that. I got my bike license. So I ride street bikes. I've just always enjoyed it. I love it.
Awesome. I got my motorcycle license at the age of 50.
Yeah.
I had gotten divorced and I met my current husband, and he was a biker, and we rode, and he always said, the fun's not on the back. The fun's not on the back. So one day at lunch, I decided I was going to go take my motorcycle test and see if I could pass it. And I passed it, and they gave me my little thing so I could, practice riding. Mm-hmm. And so I went to a little school on a weekend and got my license. But I sold my bike a couple of years ago when I had back surgery. But so riding is not as good as it used to be, but still love it. Still love motorcycle riding. So
we're actually, a friend of mine is actually doing a world record, Guinness World Record, July 6th. Leona Davis, she owns Dolls by Design, and we're doing a world record burnout, all women, and the money's going towards PTSD and women's shelters across Canada.
Oh my gosh, that's cool. You'll have to let me know about all that, and I'll put some stuff on the website about it. That's very
cool. Yeah, no, for sure. We have women coming from Ireland and all over the place. So
nice.
Yeah.
So cool. People do so many amazing things, and you don't know about them unless, like I talked to you about it. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, tell me, what is something that most people don't know about you?
I'm not actually, am I allowed to swear?
Absolutely.
I'm not actually a bitch.
People think that you are?
I think it's just because I'm so, I'm very honest, and I'm old fashioned. I'm also covered in tattoos. I'm 5'1", so people just assume that like I'm this ball of like in your face and energy, and I'm the most loyal, honest, caring person out there. And I come across, I guess, to some people almost intimidating.
Okay.
So, and I'm really not. I'm just a big giant ball of hugs.
Well, that's a good thing. So I'm sure when people get to know you, they know that you're a sweetheart. Yeah. So you've founded this company, and you work night and day, because when you own a company, you work night and day, and you think about it when you go to bed, and you think about it when you get out of bed in the morning. So that's
absolutely.
You put your passions together, which is really, a lot of people don't take the time to think about that. They go to school for a job, they get a job, and they're in the job until they retire, and then they look back and say, dang, I really wish I'd have done this, or I didn't know you could do this. And so I admire you for that, especially when you're raising 3 boys. That can't be easy. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What did your friends and family think when you decided to start this company?
To be honest, they were probably like, oh, what now? Because like I said, like I've kind of dabbled in everything. I'm all over the map all the time. And like my mom was a single parent, and like I'm an only child. And I mean, I've moved umpteen thousand times, and I have a geology diploma. I have an automotive tech diploma. I've done lashes. Like I'm all over the map. And I mean, I really had to like figure it out, because at 35 years old, raising 3 kids, I knew that I needed to do something that would keep me interested for years, because let's face it, OSAP is not fun, paying back debt. And like, if I'm not interested in it, I took the car automotive thing because, again, it's automotive. It has to do with engines and cars and just the people, right? So, I mean, I just think I was a little too pretty for that industry.
Yeah.
So, and I can't work cooped up somewhere. I like the events. I like talking to people. Mm-hmm. I love athletes. I love the drive. I love all of that. So I just ended up doing this.
Yeah, I love the stories. I've written so many stories in the last year and a half about, I don't know where the time has gone, I sat down and looked at the magazines, and it's a big stack, and I showed my husband. I said, I can't believe I've written this many stories. And it's to the point now where I'm going to have to go back and make a list of everybody, because I forget, like, if I've had them in the magazine or not. But it's something that I was passionate about, just like you. And I love the stories. And everybody's got one, right?
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. And the people, I'm telling you, I have never came out of my shell. I used to be a little, like, socially, like, kind of, I would keep back from people. Really, I kind of had trust issues with people. I like my little circle. When I first started, I had a lot of people say, like, you gotta learn to not say, because I used to not be as confident, you know what I mean? I was with people I knew, but, like, people I didn't know, I was kind of hesitant, and I would try to say my story and be like, and it's not confident. And in the last year and a half, like, isn't part of my category anymore. It's kind of weird I'm saying it. And, like, just, I love the people, like, so inviting, so welcoming. You still run into your people, it's a business, but it's a different level, and, like, you're right, you never shut it down. It never stops. It never turns off. Right. But I keep going. So
yeah, and especially if you're passionate about it. If you're passionate about what you're doing, you're just constantly thinking about, like, for you, new products, new places you could go to share it, and all those things. And for me, it's the people that I've met, like you, that I've interviewed, or I've met at the racetrack, or I've met through social media. And, I feel like I know them, especially the ones that I do the podcast with, because being able to talk back and forth like we're doing, it really makes you feel like you start to get to know somebody. And then, I go to an event and I actually meet some of these ladies and gals in person, and they give you a big hug.
Yeah.
It's just like your family.
Yeah.
The first time.
Exactly. Like, yeah. And the people, that's the thing, right? Like, the people I've had the opportunity to meet and speak to, I never would have had that opportunity before.
Me either.
So and I love that.
You're only 35 years old. So what's your long-term goal? Where do you see your company going? What's your dream at the end when you retire and sell it for millions?
Well, there you go. You just said it. Like, I will never sell it. I don't think it's going to be millions. It's going to be worth millions. I honestly, my competition in my brain and where I see me going, Fox. I'm going to be bigger than Fox. You know what? Like, that's what I do. I'm not going to stop. Like, I'll go to the ends of the earth if I have to. I mean, like, Fox, I wear Fox. They're an inspiration to me, like, we all started somewhere, and just be good to people. I want to give back. A lot of people don't know, but with my company, like, when I sell a piece of apparel, every piece of apparel I sell, I give $1 from each piece of apparel. At the end of every year, it goes into, like, a pot, and, like, the community or someone in Canada can nominate a child, and I give that money at the end of every year to a child to get into sports.
Very nice.
A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that, right? So, like, right. Just any way that I can give back and just inspire people and, like, just keep moving forward. But millions for sure. Millions.
Absolutely. So how old are your 3 boys?
Okay, so I have a 12-year-old, and I have a 10-year-old, and I have a 4-year-old. And yeah, I do it on my own. Yep.
Yeah. So the 12-year-old is old enough to help. Like you said, he helps you with the photography. And even the little ones can help. They can carry boxes and do all kinds of things to help. So you got to make sure everybody's got their hand in to help you. But
yeah.
It's, because it's their life. It's for them too. What you're doing is not just for you, it's for them. So I'm sure
they enjoy going to the events and VIP treatment and stuff, I think, a little bit more than anything, but yeah.
I like that too. Are you kidding?
Right? Yeah.
So what is your favorite kind of racing to watch?
Um, Formula One. Still
Okay.
the noise of that, like, I don't do earplugs. I just don't do it. Like, I mean, like, I get for kids and babies and stuff and elderly, but like that scream just does it for me every single time.
Hmm.
Every single.
The sights, the sounds, and the smells are what you just can't get it out of your blood for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and probably bikes right after that, because I mean that's a whole different thing on its own. Like, I mean, that's you and the bike and the ground. And that's it. So
Yeah. My husband and I, for about 10 years, went to Mid Ohio race car. It's a race course. I think Xfinity cars even run there, but
yeah,
back
yeah,
when they had the Superbike series,
yep.
and there just isn't the good series like there used to be, but we didn't miss it. And wow, those guys 180 down the back stretch, and it was just amazing
Love
what
it.
they could do. And if they fell, it was over. They weren't going to get back up and go race.
No, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, they definitely have no fear. You gotta have no fear.
No. And what always got me was when those knees rub the ground and the knees of their suits are like worn through and stuff. It's really,
Love
really,
it.
really cool to watch. Yeah.
Super cool. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you started your company, you liked fashion and you loved motorsports. So what do you sell? What did you start with? Are they t-shirts? What are they?
So literally, I just sell like staple pieces. It's like a lifestyle brand. So I have like trucker hats, t-shirts, made in Canada, bamboo hoodies. I have towels because at one point I was the water sports until I incorporated to sports in general.
Okay.
Now. So yeah, like just decals, like, and they're not stickers, they're decals. So like that stuff's not coming off. You can put it on boats and vehicles, motorcycles, cars, like wakeboards, you name it. They're going on, they're not coming off.
Okay. All right. So did you design most of this yourself, or did you have somebody else help you?
My logos, I designed all on my own. I incorporated, when I did the actual EHR logo, I incorporated, someone said, why don't you put the Canadian flag into it? Because my original water sports logo has the Canadian leaf in it. And the air sports, I wanted it more gnarly because it's racing, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's missing your Canadian theme, right? And so we incorporated the flag, the Canadian flag, into the actual lettering. So
Okay.
so like but the ideas come right from my brain, and I just sit here and things pop in my head and I'm like, I run with it.
Okay. Well, that's the best way to do it because it's all original then.
Yeah. And then manufacturing.
Go ahead.
Manufacturing is like, if I can't get it bought in Canada, or like made in Canada, I buy it off like a .ca site or something like that. So it's still generating something back in. And then all of my printing and everything is actually done locally through a local company. So I'm trying to give as much back locally as I can and to the Canadian economy.
Very good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what, made in the USA, made in Canada for you. That's the best thing to keep. But I love right?
I love my States people too, though. Like I pride myself in, like, I lived in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach for like a year when I was growing up as a kid. I have it, like, literally the South Carolina symbol on my neck. Like, I love my American friends, but yeah, like Canada is like, we're very lucky to be here. Very lucky.
Yeah, that's what all my Canadian friends tell me. So
yeah, we have room.
So, tell me, like, you sell online, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why don't you?
And then most at events, I take my 20-foot tent And I go to these events, and I go to Shannonville Motorsport Park. I go to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I go to pretty much like any place that'll take me and let me set up my booth. And I talk to everyone that walks by, and I hand out business cards, and I got my son there taking pictures and our little backdrop. And I make everyone kind of feel like their own little celebrity.
Very, very cool. So yeah, that's the part I love. Like, if I could get my husband to retire and I could get my fifth wheel that I want, I would like to live in Arizona in the winter where my daughters live, two of my daughters. Yep. And then I would travel across the country back and forth until the weather in Michigan got at least in the 60s. And then I would come back here and live here really in the summer. My granddaughter races, and I don't want to miss that. But I also then would, we're lucky here. We have so many tracks. Within 2 hours, I probably have 10 or 15 tracks from where I live. But I want to be able to go to other tracks too and meet all these ladies and watch them race, and so that's kind of my goal for what I want to do. And it's the same kind of thing. It's talking to the people. You talk to everybody that goes by, and I want to talk to all these ladies that I've told their stories, and I want to watch them race or whatever they're involved in.
You inspire me, actually, and to be honest, this is my first ever interview ever.
Really? Well, you're doing great. I wouldn't have ever thought that. You're very personable, so it makes
thank you. Thank you.
Tell me something that you're really proud of. Like maybe it's your clothing company, or it's just what is something, if you look in your life and you say, I'm 35 years old and I'm really proud that I have done or seen or whatever.
Someone just recently asked me this question, and that's a hard one. That's a hard one, because I think the right answer, I think the one everyone expects is like, you're proud of your children. As a parent, that's the expected answer. But I mean, I chose to have kids. Like, I mean, of course I'm proud of them. That's just a normal thing, right?
Right.
Personally, I'm definitely proud of how far I've come personally with myself. I mean, we've all come from different walks of life, all of us, and we all have a story. Some's a little rougher than others.
Right.
But I would have to say, anyone that truly knows me, on and off throughout my life, I've had anxiety and depression and just gone through a lot of different things. And I mean, I'm still doing it. And I'm still like, you know what, as far as I've come on my own, for me, that's what makes me proud, because I mean, not many people, it could have went one or two ways, right? I could have failed terribly.
Right.
I didn't. I keep going. There's some days that I really don't want to, but I do. And I mean, if it wasn't for my kids, I don't really know if that story would be the same. They keep me going, but I'm proud that I keep going. Like I just.
So Michelle, have you ever heard of Rachel Hollis?
Never, no.
Okay, I want you to Google her when we're done talking. Okay. She wrote a book called Girl, Wash Your Face. And it was the #2 best-selling book last year in wherever she sells it. The United States, the world, wherever, I don't know. It's also, you can listen to it on Audible.
Okay.
But what she says in the book is she went through a lot of things in her life. And one of the things she says that I love is that why she is successful now is because she kept showing up. When other people quit and gave up, she kept showing up. So she speaks now, and she does a podcast, which I highly recommend. It's called Rise. Great podcast, and I think you would love it. And the fact that she says, I kept showing up. there's, yes, we've all gone through stuff, as my sister would say. Everybody has their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had back surgery a couple of years ago, which really changed my life. But this has given me new life, this association, and talking to all of you women. I get so excited, and so, like, you encourage me to keep showing up because you are. And you'll love her podcast and her book. And I think that's why you are where you are now with your new company, is that you could have gone down, 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 and instead you made yourself into something, and it's growing, and it's your passion, and you keep showing up. And that's something too for your boys to see. That
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're gonna make me tear up.
Oh no, we're not gonna cry. No way, baby.
Yeah.
No. So if you were to define success for yourself and your business, what does that look like?
Here's where my old school values are going to come back up again. Not screwing people over to get where you want to be in life. That is my absolute number one thing, is that I want to be known and my company be known for good, not for screwing people over. Like, when I get there, I'm going to be okay and not look back and go, maybe that, and that probably wasn't great. That's not who I am. I'm going to do it that way, and people are going to recognize and are recognizing that, it might take me a little longer and I might be a bit of a pushover and you know what, but I'm going to do it honestly and truthfully.
Right. Because then you never have to look back and feel guilty or have regrets. One of my favorite hashtags that I use quite often, and if you follow me personally on my personal page, you'll see me post #no regrets. And that's, I have been through enough things in my life that I sometimes am able to share where I've been in the past, or I just lost my son in November to suicide, and I have no regrets where he was concerned. I have regrets about him and his life, but I feel like I always did as much, probably more than I should have. And so it surprises me the people that have reached out to me since that time. Mm-hmm. And it's no regrets. So, use that hashtag and say, my business, when I look back, when I'm 63 like I am, and you look back and you say, I have no regrets. I did the best I could. And yeah. So I'm going to encourage you to use that hashtag.
I can relate to you on that note. He was my 10-year-old. He has suffered with mental health his whole life since birth. It was emergency C-section, and he's always really had a hard time finding his place, especially in the school settings. Medicated, struggles a lot in school, behavioral. Last April, he actually tried to kill himself, 9 years old. And, I can totally relate with you, because that's still a fear. It will always be a fear. I'm sorry. But you know what really hit for me was when he was admitted to a children's psychiatric ward for 6 days, and no mom, no family, just he was left. And when I walked in, there was another mother sitting outside her kid's room in the hall, and it was lights out, and she was reading a book, and she looked up at me, and without words, it was the most awe feeling I've ever had. I've never met this woman, but I'm telling you, it's not in your hands. Our days are numbered, and we can just do and be there for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. And maybe I'm one of the luckier ones. And since then, he's had a huge wake-up call, and I honestly think that that's what he needed.
Yeah.
Because he's a totally different child now. Like, he's my gem now out of the three. He's the one where he's like, you know, and he's like my little go-getter. And now I'm like, oh, did it take that?
Yeah.
But it's a real, mental health is a real thing. And that's another thing I stand behind is mental health, 110%.
Well, I'm going to keep your little guy in my prayers. And,
yeah.
But you know, it's interesting that our conversation has turned from really kind of motorsports, but the fact is that that's just the superficial thing that we enjoy, that we do on the weekends. The thing that really matters is the relationships that we build and the friends that we make and the people that we can reach out to and say, hey, I'm having a rough day. I need some prayers. I need you to think, you know, give me some good vibes today. And for me, that is the biggest blessing that I have after starting this, because the people that I've met and the stories that I've heard, just like yours tonight, amazing story. And you know, could be life-changing for someone else to hear that. People reach out to me, you know, and share about someone they've lost that, you know, I had no idea. A lot of people just I know on social media. And so it was really interesting and it was comforting.
Yep.
So many people that I really didn't know that well reach out to me. So
we're not alone.
No, absolutely not alone. So thank you for, you know, you've really shared some things tonight that a lot of people would not have been comfortable sharing. So I appreciate that. And hopefully that's gonna help some other people along the road. So
I hope so. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Michelle, something that I haven't asked you about that you wanted to share, either about yourself, about your business? So tell me that, and then also give us the information of where we can get online and find your products.
Okay. You know what? I'm not going to make this one about me. I'm going to mention my sponsored athletes, actually, and give them a little recognition. I mean, because they're a big part of what I do as well. So, like, I'm going to do this last little bit for them.
Okay.
So I have 4 sponsored athletes, like I said. I have Zach Hackett, number 162. He races for the CSRA, the Canadian Snowcross Race Association. He's in his 3rd year this year. He's 6. He's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. He's from Harrowsmith, Ontario, and I'm his sponsor. And his mom and his dad obviously are like fully backing him up. And so he's amazing. Then I have Mick Kavanagh, number 101. He races motocross, and he's 16. This is his 6th year racing. They actually race at the track Burnt River, Ontario, so that's their home track. He's from Stouffville, Ontario. His sponsored athletes are my company, which is from Belleville, Ontario, Air Sports Incorporated. Off the Track, Edge Performance Dealership, which is in Bradford. Then I have Thomas Casas, and he's 2nd year, actually, pro superbike champion.
Wow.
Yeah, he's amazing. Last summer, he won with a 7-second lead.
Wow.
It wasn't even a race at that point. Sorry to all the other racers, but like, that kid is unbelievable, phenomenal. He's doing amazing. My oldest son actually is taking a little fancy to him, wants to be his best bud, thinks he's just the coolest thing.
And how old is he?
He's 19. He's been racing for 15 years. He got his first motocross bike at 4.
Wow.
He's from Colombia and is now a Canadian citizen. He's out of Peterborough, Ontario. So he's a CSBK, Canadian Superbike Racer. He He actually has a list of sponsors, so like it's like pretty lengthy. He rides Yamaha. So if anyone wants to check him out, this stuff's all on my website. So I can my website, you can go to athletes and check them all out. And then Connor Campbell started racing 2 years ago. He's number 814. He's also Superbike racer, CSPK. His hometown's Ottawa, and his sponsors are Air Sports Incorporated and DP Brakes. And besides that, I just wanted to give them all a shout out and say how great.
Absolutely. That's a long list of people that you sponsor. That's very admirable for no longer than you've been in business.
I had a few others, and then again, Jamie Calhoun is my old water sports sponsored athlete, who's my very first sponsored athlete. And the only reason he found me, again, the joy of social media, he's from Tweed, Ontario, and grew up water skiing on Stokoe Lake, and saw my Instagram page and saw it was from Belleville, and he reached out to me. And like I said, he's amazing. He's number one under 17 all of the world for his age group for slalom water skiing.
Wow.
So
I don't think about Canadians being water skiing champions.
He's pretty great. Him and his sister are actually going to school in the States. They've been down in the States going to college and university and racing down there and getting trained down there. So they do most of their training in Florida. They're doing all right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds more normal that they'd be in Florida.
Yeah, no, they're doing great. So, I mean, you know what? I've had the opportunity to be involved with some great athletes too. And so I just love them all to bits. I just think they're sweet.
Well, your face just lights up when you talk about them. So when you watch this back, you're going to see that. Cool. You think a lot of them. So
right on. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was really nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you as well, Michelle. And to, I feel like I really connected with you tonight. So I'm glad we were able to talk. And what is your website? Where do we go to find your clothing?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Facebook is Facebook at Air Sports Incorporated, so EHR Sports Inc. Same hashtag for Instagram, like the same spot at Air Sports Inc. And then www.airsports.com.
Okay. All right.
And you guys can find me, check it out. I'm already following you on Facebook and all the great things that you do. And I mean, also too, again, that women's burnout, it's Neil Davis. It's raising money for PTSD and women's shelters across Canada, and it's global. They're trying to actually like do a world record. We're gonna win it. So I mean, and it's all the money is going towards a charity, women's shelter of someone. Whoever wins or raises the most money is getting to choose the shelter that they want.
All right. Well, when we get done here, send me some information about that over the next week or so. Yeah, I'd like to know more about that. That sounds cool.
Well, you know what? I can actually set her up. I'll tell her, or I'll send you her information. She might be someone good that you can get a hold of to do a story on as well.
Absolutely. That sounds great. I'm always looking for ladies like you to talk to. So
cool. Awesome. Cool. I can't wait to actually meet you. Thank you.
Well, Michelle, I've really enjoyed talking with you and hearing your story. Thank you for being so open and sharing things with us that are hard to talk about sometimes. And I appreciate that. And best wishes for your $1 million business that I know you're going to have.
Thank you.
And I can see that you're passionate about it. And when you're passionate about something, nobody's going to stop you. So I'm so glad that we got to finally connect tonight. And I know our listeners are going to love hearing your story. So you kiss those babies and love on those kids and get that business up and running. And I will see you in person one of these days soon.
You have fun in Daytona.
I will have fun in Daytona. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, hon. Have a good night.
Bye.